Brothers and sisters, I know we're late. I know it's late. This won't be long, probably about 45 minutes, 35 minutes, but we're going to cut right to the chase. The Passover. So, the real Passover started yesterday night. This would be the second night, technically. And got a little video I want to show y'all. You know, your favorite pastors lied to you if they told you that the Passover happened last month. Um, you know, they just were afraid of telling the truth. Give me one second. There we go. I got to get this QuickTime player to get out there. Cancel. Because I got to show y'all this video from last month. Okay. Waiting for everything to come together. My bad. But still, full moon happened last night. Passover started last night on a Monday night, not on a Sunday. Moon's Day, right? How appropriate that on Moon's Day, uh, the moon Monday is the so-called pagan rendition or understanding of all that. Let me blow that up. Okay, 1 second. All right, let's try this again. Okay. And that, my friends, is a full moon. Tonight's date is March 24th, 2024. So-called date. Anyway, we'll see how many days this is off from last year's so-called Passover date. We'll see when the next full moon is supposed to be, and then we'll have a better time, a better understanding of how many days we truly are off. Okay. Close that up. And then let me pull up the other video just from the other day. All right. That, my friends, is a full moon. Oh, yeah. April 22nd, 2024. So-called. Don't worry. I'll have either espoused the point or be espousing the point soon thereafter of its importance. Peace. Okay, so we can already clarify just from the two videos that March 24th was the day that some pastors and some individuals decided to say that the Passover took place, but the Passover started last night. So any leaven or leaven or however you want to say it you have in your house, from baking powder to baking soda to yeast, put it in your car or something. You know, you don't got to throw it out, but you probably, if you really gonna call yourself trying to do right, those are the small things you can do. Uh, Not eating leavened bread if that's in your power, not drinking if that's in your power, for 7 whole days. Um, a lot of these pastors, a lot of these people who claim to be the truth or whatever they claim to be, they're not breaking it down like that. Those are two basic videos, right to the point, you know. Oh man, no. What up, player? I'm a I'm gonna hook you up with one of these just because it's been a little while, bro. But I appreciate you for appreciating the channel. But the whole point is so that way people can kind of have like an understanding of not just how I see it, but just like another way that they could go about all this. You know, Give me 1 second, fam. So the full moon happens on the Sabbath. Anybody that's ever read the scripture kind of understands that, right? The full moon is like when it actually happens is the real Sabbath. So the real Sabbath was actually last night. Um Again, even though Easter was last month, if we look it up real quick, right? And I'm gonna pull it up real fast. Um I'm about to pull up Easter 2023. Yeah. Then I'll share the screen here in a second just so that way you can see what it says. Easter Sunday was April 9th, 2023. And April 9th last year was a full moon, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Like it all fell kind of together. So what was weird about it was they never they never made it like a 1 second. People never put it together. So realistically, fam, so check this out. So March 31st was this year's Easter, right? April 9th was last year's Easter. So it's less than a year. People have to admit that it's less than a year. No matter how they slice that, that was less than a year, right? Boom. April 9th, there was a full moon right around then. That same time last year. It was right around that same time, maybe a few days later or a couple days before, but it was really close to that. Matter of fact, full moon. Pull that up. There we go. It was on a Thursday. It came right on, and so that Sunday was still in its fullness, pretty much. It had most of its fullness, but like I said, it may be a couple days before, but still, follow what I'm saying. April 6th, 2023, Thursday was Tours Day, right? Was the actual full moon. 3 days later was Easter. What I'm pointing out to you is this right here is that this year, and we're gonna go Easter 2024. The first full moon of spring occurs on March 25, but it can't be the first full moon of spring because spring doesn't you the spring doesn't change month to month from year to year. Can you hear me? You have to go through all four seasons, three other seasons in order to get back to that season, to be more specific. So March 25, they're saying, but really it was March 24th. Y'all seen it. I showed you on March 24th, the moon was full. It had the same, I showed y'all. You see how they're trying to lie about this year's full moon? We're not even going to worry about that. Check me out. 6 days later was Easter. Okay. So the moon was almost pretty much waned out or, most to done by then. That's not my beef. That's not my issue. Well, my point is this: if the full moon, let's go back one more time. If Sunday Easter was March 31st, 2024, the full moon happened last night in its fullness on the 22nd of April, but last year it was on April 9th. That's 13-day swing. Now, anybody that knows me, I'm gonna stop sharing this. Now, anybody that knows me knows that I've always promoted a certain thing that the days are off a certain number of days. So even if we just look at it from that point of view of the full moon occurring on whatever day, right? They say the 6th. But even if you do it like that, that's 16 days different. You follow what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of days that are missing in the physical year that there's not accounted for because what they do is they use a solar calendar, but they account for a lunar year. And what I mean by that is once you put a 28-day month in the solar calendar, because the sun only has 30-day cycles, it only has 30-day months. It doesn't have a 28-day cycle like the moon does. The moon has a 28-day and a 29-day cycle for certain different things. And so when they put the solar calendar in a lunar year and they put that lunar month in there, it throws the entire thing off because now there's a necessity for a so-called leap year. But if you kept it to 364 days, one day to rend each season, so there's 4 seasons, so that's 4 days, and then 12 months times 30 days is 360. When we add those together, that's 364. Okay, if you had it to where every month had 30 days, there were no 28-day months, people's confusion about these things would be far less. But then you wouldn't be able to tell us that midnight is a brand new is midnight and then 12:01 is a brand new day. That does not work. That goes against all logic. Brother Andre, and a few other people I know, but Brother Andre and I talk a lot, and he's the one that really drives that home. He's like, how can it be midnight at 12 o'clock and then a brand new day 1 whole minute later? Think about it. Like, how does that even logically make sense? So when we have that kind of dynamic, and that's how they present the information to people, as opposed to telling you when the sun is up, it's the day. When the moon or the darkness is set in, it's no longer the day. Until the light of the day comes back and the sun comes back, it's not day, no matter what time it is. If they said that, people would look at things differently. But for these next 7 days, all I'm asking people to do is just be observant, pay attention to what they don't want you to know, and pay attention to what you already do know. For my people who don't drink a lot, okay, don't start drinking out of nowhere, please. For my people who don't eat a lot of bread, don't start eating a bunch of bread out of nowhere. Give the Most High God his days. Eat your bitter herbs, okay? Eat your unleavened bread, all right? Give up on the, you know what I'm saying? Don't get pickled. Nothing. You see what I'm saying? Like just do the honorable thing. I know we're in a land where keeping this does us no good as far as what it'll do with man, but the Most High God is watching. If you really believe in the Most High God, do that. Don't, if you don't do nothing else, do that. You know, again, I observed last night that the moon was full. That's at the very beginning of this video. I breaks it all down. I don't, I didn't waste no time with none of this. I showed what I was talking about with the Easter last year and with everything for this year. We're not going to tarry on this super duper long, but we are going to talk about it because there's a lot of misconceptions about what the Passover means. First off, the Passover is the distinction, the difference between the children of Israel and the Egyptians and all the mixed multitude of people. That's right. The Most High God, his angel of death, passed over the people and distinguished them from everyone else that was in that land. Secondly, right on. The Passover is the showing of the month of new corn, right? Which is the actual true beginning of spring. So just because people try to tell you, oh, this is this, no, nope, 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 nope. Because if you look it up, historically, the month of new corn is in April. That's when spring really starts. That I'm going based on the scriptural understanding, not your man-made understanding. Right on. The scripture was around before anything that you say right now. Show me the written edification of those words. Don't give me your hyperbole. Don't give me your conjecture. Show me the written edification of those words so that way we can verify, validate, and vindicate your claim. Number one. And then number two, we can possibly shed light on things. But if you cannot provide a source cited or a cited source, please save your 2 pennies and add it to another dollar. That being said, in this book, it says specific things, and the full moon happens during the Passover. Yep, there's a full moon. That's a Sabbath during the Passover. Right. So when people are saying the things that they say, realize that I'm telling you right now that if you go outside and look at the moon right now, the moon is still full. She was full last night though. Anybody who's watching this right now and happen to magically skip forward to this part because you didn't catch it live, go back to the very beginning of the video, exercise some patience, and watch those two 25, 20-second clips and get your own understanding. But the moon is full. The moon was full last night. They're trying to tell us that the moon wasn't full till the 25th of last year, but I've already shown and proved that the moon was full on the 24th of last month. It's in the video. It's completely full moon. Shining bright and everything. Shining just as bright as the one that's in this latest video with the clouds trying to shroud over it. And when the moon's not completely full, she does not shine as bright. Anybody that has ever seen the moon in her cycles and stages knows it in her phases. They know exactly what I'm talking about. They know exactly what I'm talking about. When she's 9/10 full, she does not shine as bright as she does when she's completely full. You can just tell the difference. It's just a glow that the moon has. That being said, the Passover is a Sabbath day. That being said, yesterday was the true Sabbath. Last night was the true Sabbath. Right. Coming into today. That's why I was trying to ask people, like, what do you guys pay attention to these types of things? Do you observe them? Do you do your best to keep to them based on what you know? Right. The full moon is the Sabbath. No matter what people think, that is the Sabbath. Every full moon is a Sabbath day. Right. And if we actually kept things the way that they were supposed to be, they would fall on on the true seventh day. Right. Monday's not the seventh day of the weekly cycle. Right. According to most people who can count, it's the second day. Right. Not the first, but the second day. Sunday is supposed to be the first day. It's a difficult measure that we're in right now as a people because we're dealing with individuals who don't realize the Most High God will deliver you up unto your enemies. We have been delivered up into the enemies. We're in their grasp, their clutches, their hands, their grip, and they will not let us go. Can I blame them for not wanting to let us go? I fault them for not letting us go, but I couldn't. If I were them and I could feel exactly how they feel, I would probably feel exactly opposite of how I feel right now because that's how a lot of them act. They think they can tell you how you feel. A lot of these guys have never been in a situation where their life was on the line. They want to tell us that the moon has been landed on. I, I mean, do y'all actually? Does the moon? Does the? I mean, it's tough because they want us to believe something that's inherently untrue. Because they tell you it's Saturday, that must be the seventh day of the week, even though obviously it's ostensibly untrue. The full moon fell on a Thursday, they said last year, but it came on a Monday this year. How could that be, y'all? How could, once again, follow what I'm saying? I'm saying that that was the Passover for last year in April, right? Easter Sunday and Passover, all that stuff kind of coincided. I'm saying that this year, not only did they not coincide, right? But the people who said that Passover was in March, I'm asking them, how could you figure that the Passover was the Passover and it hadn't even been a complete calendar year? Let it sink in before you answer any questions. That much being said, because people's investigatory skills are at a minimal. Right now it is 12:02 a.m. It's supposed to be a new day. Somebody tell me where the sun is at. Somebody, anybody, I am pleading with you. Tell me where the sun is at. I'll stop that right there. See, they couldn't tell you where it's at. It's in a portal or shifting from a portal from one place to the other. I say things that make sense, like the earth stands still on pillars. When it has an earthquake, that means the earth is moving. Any other time, she's not moving. Wow. That means that the sun and the moon, yes, they're in the earth's orbit. Neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. That being said, though, if you believe in dimensions and portals and frequencies, right? If you believe in spectra, that means that these celestial bodies, they're not governed by the same physics you and I are governed by. Why can't that be the case? Why can't there be something greater than what science can explain outside of the wind? Like, I don't know, stations, 364 of them on the east and the west of the heaven, where the sun and the moon go to. But the sun specifically goes to these stations because he keeps to his assigned and appointed job and course. He never deviates. He blesses the Most High God as he does his job. He worships the Most High God every moment he's out. I know what I read. I'm not tripping. It's an honor for the son to be the son because he knows he's the son. That right there, people will never understand. They'll never say that the sun has his own feelings. The moon has her own feelings. Right. That the wind and everything that you deal with have their own feelings. And they're going to be able to pay witness one day for your good deeds and for your evil deeds. They're going to be able to say, I seen him do that. I watched him do that. I seen her do it, Father. She's lying. You will not be able to utter a single lie. That's going to be the scary part when people realize that everything that you ever done was watched and recorded on the greatest surveillance system ever created. And only he, yes, only he on high, the ancient head of days, could have devised something so wonderful and so splendid that everything the enemies of the Most High God attempt to do is a mimic and faux example of what they believe that he is doing already, i.e., their need to want to watch and put cameras everywhere because the Most High God already has his stars in heaven who've never deviated watching, his clouds who've never deviated watching, every piece of dew and hydration, the drops of rain, yeah, everything is going to pay witness to people. And I want y'all to understand right now that while that moon is out, it's a sign in the heavens for the army of the Most High God in heaven. There's only so many more full moons this earth has left to endure until everything that is meant to be, that shall be, will be. Come on. Right on. Right on. And that being said, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to drag this on, but I'm going to give it a few more minutes and just really just say what needs to be said. Because there's a lot of people who play this game where they think that by putting on a robe that has a fake silver lining on it and all white, their little Power Ranger suit. They think that that's going to exculpate them, that that's going to abdicate them, okay? That it's going to remove them from all responsibility and judgment. They don't realize that they who are leaders of tens, of hundreds, of thousands, of 10,000s, okay, they're going to be the ones who are held to account. And the more souls you bring into naught, every single one of those souls will be on your head and on your head. The Most High God is not going to not hold you accountable. The Most High God said, He said, I'll save one from the city and two from a family. People who want to, that's why a family that prays together, stays together, gonna get slayed together. Paul forgot that part. They're gonna get killed together too. You should not want to be there. You should want to be doing something else different. Unless you're totally content with your whole seed dying and everything, right? Everything that you work for dying with you. That's stupid and that's selfish. You should want the Most High God to protect you or to protect whomever from your household that He chose to protect. A selfish fool brings his entire seed to nothing. Blessed be the Most High God for giving me the mind to realize, to see that it is not up to me who lives, who dies, because I have no heaven and no hell to put them in. Right. Thou shalt not kill. And when you deliver people up to death without you realizing that you deliver them up to death, you have no less killed them. Thou shalt not kill. Does it say thou shalt not use a weapon to take a life? Huh? Does it say thou shalt not pay money to have someone end the life? No, it says thou shalt not kill. So if you attempt to save somebody and get them killed, you're no less responsible than the action itself that took their life. Don't go against what's written. Accept it. Do your best to abide by it. When you fall out of line, repent and make right. It's not just with your lip service. Take different actions. Remind yourself what's on the line: salvation. They believe that there is no life after this. They think that you're just dead and gone and that's it. So why don't they just fucking end it and get it over with? Doesn't that sound crazy? Right. They want to enjoy all the good shit while they're here, but they don't believe in nothing else afterwards. But then they have the nerve to try to use phrases out of a book that they're saying is an allegory, is a myth. This is why I don't take individuals serious who really are not from the turf, because they can't understand, because they have never been in the real belly of the beast. There is no country more racist than America. There isn't one. It doesn't exist. I don't want to hear about no Arab countries. I don't want to hear nothing about none of that. Okay? I don't give a damn about none of that. I don't care about none of that. Because you can't have it both ways. You can't say that, oh, these dudes is treating these guys different. But then if that's what their religion tells them to do, if it says that Allah struck one shoulder and white apes came out, and then struck another shoulder and black apes came out, and said the white ones were good and the black ones were evil, okay, they're only acting on what they've been told and been reading their whole life. Why should I be angry with them? That just means that I don't contend with that faith. There's nothing for me. There's nothing for me there. Because if to them I'm inherently evil, we have nothing to talk about. Right. See, I don't even waste my time with them. May they all burn in hell or whatever it is they think they're gonna go to. May they burn in it with their false God. And I'll tell any one of them that to their face. I always be laughing when people be scared, talking about, oh, those are our brothers and sisters. Are they? How many Muslims do you know put boats together and came and fought to try to save black people out of slavery? I'll wait. I'll wait. I'll fucking wait. Tell me anybody who tried to do anything. And like I said, I'm the first to acquiesce, capitulate, and to surrender that there are a few accounts of so-called African men attempting to disrupt the slave trade, all ending with their lives being taken. I've said this. But for me to reiterate that is only for me to say that nobody ever mounted a, a rescue mission. You know what I'm saying? A raid to come get us back. It never happened. It never manifested. And then individuals who claim to say that they fought for black people, they don't realize how double dealing they're being when they say that they're fighting for black people. No, the North was tired of the South being mega rich. They bankrupted the South because we're about to be two separate, different nations. And the North would have been choked out of all the labor, virtually all the labor that black people had to offer. Imagine a mechanized South with black people still as slaves. I don't think slavery ends. I just think it gets so much easier that these dudes have a mega empire in the South built on slave labor. And the North was like, fuck that. We'll get back to the moon stuff in a second. I just need for people to understand they're not going to tell me any and everything and me just eat it up and believe it. They said that the 25th was a full moon last year. Yeah, they said it. Run this video back again to the very first, like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, something like that. Watch them two videos. Telling y'all it's going to be something different. As your boy gets ready to head out, whenever y'all get to it, my brothers and sisters, because it's this is one of those things where you just need to understand. They will tell you anything. South would have never been broke. Niggas would have still been slaves. The North didn't do it because they was trying to set you free because they altruistic. Nobody ever helped us. Nobody ever did nothing for us. They're not going to do anything for you now. They're not going to lift a penny. They want what? Not a what? Not one scintilla, iota, not a modicum of help, assistance, or aid will you be rendered. As long as you remember that and tell yourself, that's right. The Passover is to remind me that I'm different. I'm different from the rest of them. Like I said, I have no problem being a hewer of wood or a drawer of water. I have no problem being subservient to the people. But if I am the people, I'm the master. Period, point blank. If you're the people, you're the master. If you're not the people, you are not the master. For now, you play the head and we play the tail, but we know what's what. I don't have to stand on the shoulders of anybody else to make my peace, to get my peace, to have my peace. And like I said, for those who would try to save themselves or to save somebody, look, you're going to get yourself killed. You're going to get your whole whatever it is that you're trying to save ended and ruined. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. In the words of wisdom, let it be, my friends. They can't stop that moon from being up like that, can they? They can't. This is our time to realize the truth. The days are off almost 2 weeks in a year. Do you guys understand? It could be, it could, listen, April 6th was the last full moon for last year in the same month. Okay? Let that sink in. Let it sink in. April 6th. April 22nd this year, right? Now I need y'all to realize this. And it was almost a whole month and some change between either full moon for either month. In March, it was the same thing, and then April, it was the same thing. Realize my point. If we're off 16 days in a year, oh my goodness, people are about to once again, don't get mad. Don't get mad at me. I didn't mess the time up. I'm not Benjamin Banneker. See, all my lessons, anything that I've ever talked about, it all flows together. You just have to realize where it flows to and what part it goes to. Your enemies have confounded the very foundations of time itself. They've changed all understanding. I laugh. Somebody said to me today what I wouldn't say to another man in his presence. And I just had to look at this person. And all I could tell myself was, there's going to be a day where I don't have to put up with that anymore. There will be a day. There will be a day where I don't have to take that from anyone ever again. Stay ready, brothers and sisters, so you don't have to get ready. The Christ said, He said, I pray that the flight be not in the winter. All I can say to y'all is be ready. Because when the stuff gets real, that's it. That's it. That's it. Have no attachments to anything in this world, and you will be okay. Love your people, but don't be so attached to anything that without it, it's over. There's no, my life has no meaning anymore. That's crazy. We end on this note. There is no story of inspiration greater than the story of Job in the whole scripture. The only story that I believe rivals it as far as being inspired is the story of Joseph. That's it. I don't think there's any story that's anywhere close. I mean, Joseph's story to me is not even close, but it's the only story that has a sense of like urgency and uh ultimate mourning, you know, that has to be felt. And just getting back something that you thought that you had lost, that you were sure was gone. Very similar aspects, but Job's story is the most compelling and the most motivating and the most encouraging. And Job's an Edomite. He's an Idumean, excuse me. Right. He's from the loins of Esau, and he's a righteous man. A righteous man. Let that be known. And he praised the Most High God through everything he went through. He couldn't even, he would just, he was in so much pain with the boils being on his body. He could, all he could do was get up and moan and groan and go back to sleep. Not once did he curse the Most High God. A righteous and a just man. Trying to tell y'all, if he can lose everything, and I mean everything, all but his wife, but if he could lose everything and still look forward to what is to come, then brothers and sisters, you have nothing to lose. It just feels like it. It just seems like it. I will never get back what I've lost in this earth, as far as the people and the sentimental things. I'll never get them back, but I'll always have my memories, you know. until the Most High God takes those from me. But I'll always have them until I don't. And you will always have yours until you don't. So be grateful for the ability to discern and to understand what you're in the middle of. We are living in the middle of the last parts of certain prophecies and the beginning of some of the worst things that are yet to come. If you do what's right and you do what's just and you do what's honorable, the Most High God is going to reward you no matter what. But if you, for one moment, become shaky, become doubtful, become a reprobate, something hateful to him, an abomination, he will make you pay the price. He's made a many of good men to pay the price, but the wicked have a special price to pay in the end. I said all that to say that the Passover is to distinguish you from all others. You don't have to do what they do just because they do it, just to please them, just to appease them, just to keep them quiet. 7 days where you get to show the Most High God, I'm devoted to your cause. Right. Like I said, if you don't keep the feast in all of its fullness, that's fine. But do what he's asking you to do with this. If he asks for drink offering, offer him drink offering. Even if you call yourself not drinking. This is the most he deserves that. The Most High God. If the Most High God is not worth a 6 pack of beer, a bottle of liquor, a bottle of wine to you, but he blesses you with everything that you have, shame on you. And may he remind you that he is the king and that you are a servant in his court, as am I, as are all the rest. And those who choose to be disobedient and choose to stray away from their servitude shall be shown exactly what it is to live without him. So if you think you can do better without the Most High God, say that. But if you know for a fact you need him for every crumb, every iota, scintilla, modicum, every little micro piece of what you get, every subatomic material, nuclei that you actually get to gather up, it's all on him. Right on? Then act like you know that. But if you think you can do better without him, show him. Show him. All he gonna do is keep waking you up and keep letting you do whatever you do. But now you got to show him that you can do it without him. Prove it. Prove it. Or is the earth gonna turn on you like it's turned on other people? Far greater men have suffered far greater defeats for far less controversies, okay, and for far less forms of disobedience. I don't listen to nothing that Paul says because Paul gonna drag you right to hell. Nope, I don't. That nigga died in prison. Nothing he says is worth a fuck. Let that sink in. That nigga died in prison. Didn't get crucified. Okay, he died in prison. Right. He was not a righteous individual. He was not a he was not a righteous individual. Period. And he would tell you that things like the moon being full doesn't nothing matters. The law doesn't matter, nothing matters. Yes, it does. That moon is full because it's the Sabbath, or the Sabbath started last night. The moon will start to wane tomorrow. She only has her fullness for so long. She'll still be bright, but she'll start to wane. The true Passover has another 5 days in it. Get you some. Do your best to take part. And if you can't take part, then just do your best to do your best. My brothers and my sisters, I salute you. I salute you once more, and I salute you again. May tomorrow be better than tonight, and may your next week surely be better than your last. There was nothing like a moment of separation just to let you know that you are who you thought you were, or you are not who you believed you were. That moon in the sky is not only a sign of the Passover, but the sign of the separation, okay, and the true peculiarhood of the people that you call Israel. Let that sink in, brothers and sisters. Good night.